I'm here to tell you that the Bills window is still wide open. This might sound like a very, what is he talking about? Did he not watch that game? Has he not seen what's transpired over the last 5 years? That was another gut-wrenching loss. And so now you have all the takes firing off Sean McDermott this, Josh Allen that. They got to make drastic changes. I'm here to tell you that you don't need to buy into any of those things, okay? This has been a heartbreaking stretch for the Buffalo Bills and their fan base. Like I you know me, I don't feel much emotion, but I was like feeling emotion watching the fans in the stands after that game. You wrote about it beautifully, by the way, in the hot read. Everyone check that out on theringer.com. But to have these teams be so close, for a fan, it can make you question, why do I waste my time? Why do I waste my money? Why do I waste my emotional energy on sports? I could be doing something else with my life. If you're a Bills fan, this is just like another one that you're adding to the ledger year after year after year. However, the Buffalo Bills are not broken. They don't need to fire the whole coaching staff. This isn't about Josh Allen isn't able to win the big game. Okay, this is a team that over the last 2 years has lost one game by more than 7 points. They are probably the most consistently...
They played 35 games? How many games?
That sounds right. Well, they played 16 last year in the regular season because the DeMar Hamlin game was canceled.
And then one 16, 17.
17, 30.
And they played 19. So 36 games.
Yeah.
And they've lost one by more than a touchdown.
One by more than something. And if you're a Bills fan, you're probably touchdown. The Bengals last year in the playoffs.
There you go. That was the one. 24-10.
And if you're a Bills fan, you're probably like, who cares? Shut up, loser. I don't go brag to my friends of other teams talking about how few games we've lost by more than 7 points. I understand that. This team has gotten stung by bad luck, by randomness, by miscues. Listen, there are miscues in high leverage situations, but these are not things that require a big blow up. And so I think it's good to look at NFL history here if you're a Bills fan and you're feeling down. Peyton Manning played 8 seasons before the man got to a Super Bowl. I am old enough to remember this. Where all these conversations, Peyton Manning can't win the big one. You don't want Manning all these things to Peyton Manning. And then guess what? He eventually got there. He eventually won one with the Colts and then won another one with the Broncos. Aaron Rodgers played 18 seasons with the Packers and got to the Super Bowl one time. Okay. It is very hard. The stars need to align. The Tom Brady careers, the Patrick Mahomes careers, these are on like a level of their own. They are the 1% of the 1%. For everyone else, including the all-time greats, which, by the way, Josh Allen has a chance to be, it's going to be very different. So this is a team that's going to keep being in the mix, okay? Next year, Josh Allen is going to be 28 years old. They've got roster questions to answer, no doubt about it, but they've still got an offensive line, running back, tight end, they're good. All those things. And listen, one of these years, Bills fans, the bounces are going to go your way. It doesn't seem like it now. You're going to break through. You might not get 2. You might not get 3. You might not get 4. You might not be the career, number of championships you hope for. You're going to get one. And when that happens, you will remember all the misery and the heartbreak and the 13 seconds and the missed 41-yard field goal and the Stephon Diggs almost catch, and all these things you will remember about what it took to get there to that one championship, and you will appreciate it even more. You will think of your loved ones. Say, I wish they were here to see this. You will cry. You will hug your friends. You will be overcome with emotion, and Josh Allen will hoist a Lombardi trophy. It will happen. Again, if you're a Bills fan, you don't want to hear this right now, okay? Those images in the fans yesterday, again, those were tough to watch, but I'm telling you, it's going to happen eventually. This is not a blow everything up. This is not a referendum on Josh Allen. This is not anything on Sean McDermott. It sucks to say, but you got to just keep plugging away, being in the mix, and one of these years, the ball's going to bounce your way. So there you go. I feel like I've been the Bills defender, Solak, from like the first day we started this podcast. I don't know how I got there. I really have no connection to the fine people of Western New York, but that is legitimately, authentically how I feel. So there you go.
Right. I was going to accuse you initially. I was going to be like, this is Bills cope. As someone who, you were so close to cashing some amazing Bills receipts.
That I feel okay. They got to the divisional round. They were 6-6 when I said it or whatever.
Your prediction was the Bills, they're going to win the division, and they did. And then you started the postseason like they're going to win the Super Bowl, and they didn't get there. So what's the new prediction? They'll win one eventually, right? That one you'll be able to cash at some point down the road. Man. But no, the Bills window is really the most interesting thing to me, because you're absolutely right. When you have a quarterback as talented as Josh Allen is, which this is always worthy of restating, if Patrick Mahomes were wiped off the face of the earth, and we looked at like quarterbacking numbers from the last 5 years, you would not be able to make an argument that there's a quarterback in the league better than Josh Allen. You couldn't do it. Like right now, I think Lamar is playing better than Josh. I think when Lamar's at his peak and Josh at his peak, I think there's a legitimate conversation. But if you look at like data over the last several seasons, again, if you just take Patrick Mahomes and put him on Mars, there's no question the best quarterback on earth right now is Josh Allen. However, not only does Mahomes exist, he exists in the conference. And not only does he exist in the conference, he's got a coach and he's got a defense and then he's got the surrounding talent necessary to always be there in the playoffs. Just an unconscionable roadblock, just a mountain in your way. And it is so hard to constantly go up against that and lose. And so Allen is unbelievable. He's incredible. He's so talented. Having Allen as your quarterback ensures that you are always in a Super Bowl window. With that said, Josh Allen hit the cap this year for $18.6 million, Sheil, right? I think that people always, contract extension. He's super expensive right now. Allen signed his contract extension a couple of years ago, but you don't immediately become expensive because of the way these are structured. So he hit the cap for 18.6 this year. It was 16.3 the year previous and 10.2 the year before that. Next season, he hits the cap for $43 million, right? That's the amount of space that he takes up. His numbers start to shoot up because his restructure bonuses are going to start to climb through the roof, right? They're going to start to really, really eat up space on the team. And he stays in like the $40 to like $60 million range for the next few years. The window stays open. The margins get a lot slimmer. And that's what makes it that's actually wrong to say. That's not what makes these losses so disappointing. What makes these losses so disappointing is losing to Patrick Mahomes 3 times in the postseason. Like, no one's like, oh no, the contract. Like, that's not what makes them hurt. That's absolutely not the case. But from a sober next day analysis, when we look at this as NFL analysts, what makes it particularly crushing is that they had a window in which Josh was dramatically underpaid for what he was providing them. And they spent tons of money. They spent tons of resources. They got a lot of good players in the building. They did it largely correct. And couldn't get the hay in the barn, couldn't get the ball across the line. Now you have to do it with like perfect drafting. Now you have to do it with like excellent development and retaining coaches. The margins get a lot thinner around Josh because he starts to take up a lot more money. And so that really, I think, like, you're right to say the window is still open, but it does get tougher from here, which to tell a Bills fan, hey, that was the easy stretch. The hard stretch is coming up. It's terrible news.
Yeah, a lot of it is with the older players on defense. I mean, Micah Hyde, Jordan Poyer, Tre'Davious White coming off an Achilles, Von Miller signing. I mean, that's looking like one of the worst free agent signings of like the last 5 years, given what they paid for him at that age and what he's given them. Offensively, I think they need a receiver, maybe more than one. We'll see what happens with Stephon Diggs. I think Allen is able to elevate. You're right. I mean, it is going to be hard. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I understand if you feel like you need some kind of refresh, but yeah, sometimes you just like, I'm wearing this sweatshirt. It's, it is Michael Jordan looking at all these basketball players from the 90s. They're just looking at him and they're mad because they played in an era where he played, and that not ruined their legacy, but altered their legacy because they could not beat him. And so now everyone can point to them and say, well, you don't have a ring. And that is part of what's happening. I will say this though, like, these have not like Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is awesome. I don't know how much we're going to talk about Patrick Mahomes today. We'll definitely talk about him on Friday. Obviously, this is an all-time, like, this is the greatest football player I've ever seen. I'm comfortable saying that right now. These are coin flip games. Like they're not killing them. This one 2 years ago. I mean, these are games that they're in fourth quarter, 4 minutes to play. They're right there. The game is there for them, and they haven't been able to do it. So I think I'm still, listen, we'll be doing this podcast, like you've said before, at some point, hopefully in the far future, at some point, one of these seasons, we can say they've done it. But Bills fans, I feel for you. This sometimes, and I know there are probably fans of other teams saying, "Oh, give me a break." Like at least they're winning games and playing in big games, and there is some truth to that. But it's a special kind of pain when you know you legitimately have a chance and you feel like you have one of the best players and you still don't do it. Like that's different than just having, like a Jets team where you're just like, all right, we have no chance. This sucks. You're ruining our falls and winters. That sucks also, but this sucks differently.
No, this is a particularly nasty emptiness. This is just
it's
dark.
Like cruel. It felt cruel and mean watching it yesterday. Oh my god.
And especially because they were doing exactly what they did in the 42-36 game. They're driving with 2 minutes left to go and take the lead. And so you're already ready for the punch. You're already ready for they're going to take the lead, get the ball back to Mahomes, they're going to lose. And then it turns out the punch comes one beat faster than you thought it would. Wide right again. Missing the kick, the 2nd and 9, the throw up the pipe, which I've seen people complain about this. It's the right throw. He's open.
I agree.
Gets dumped in his lap.
Get out of here with that. It's all Tony Romo pointing out the shallow, which that's fine. But my gosh, you're trying to score a touchdown. Yeah.
Yeah.